A new debate has gripped Wall Street. How often should companies report their earnings? Once in 3 months or once in 6 months? It's not a new debate in the world of finance, but this time it was triggered by US President Donald Trump. Look at his social media post. This is what he's written. Companies and corporations should no longer be forced to report on a quarterly basis, but rather to report on a 6-month basis. This will save money and allow managers to focus on properly running their companies. Now, to be clear, the policy has not changed yet. Trump is merely giving his input to the US regulator, which is the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. The SEC will now review this proposal, and only they can change the rule book. The current rule was introduced way back in 1970. It requires listed companies to publish reports every quarter, basically once in 3 months. The idea was to promote transparency and trust. Quarterly reports equal more frequent updates equal more information, and more information equals better decision making. This was the idea behind the rule, to give investors confidence. So why does Trump want to change it? Well, he feels it's too short term. Managers are always thinking about the next report. Therefore, there is no long-term vision. Clearly, this is Trump's business background talking. He ran companies for decades, and some of those companies were publicly traded. So maybe Trump is speaking from personal experience, or maybe he is worried about the markets. Let me show you a study by Columbia Business School. They found that more than 8,000 companies traded on US exchanges in the 1990s, more than 8,000 firms. Do you know what is the number now? Only 4,000 firms. So the number of listed companies has fallen by 50%, and a lot of them blame regulation, of which quarterly reports is a part. So maybe Trump is trying to revive the stock spirit. Maybe he wants more companies to list in US exchanges. The question is this the right way to go? In fact, this topic is quite divisive. In 2018, 2 finance heavyweights wrote an op-ed. Ace investor Warren Buffett and JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon. In that piece, they call for doing away with quarterly guidance. Now, guidance is different from the earnings report. A report shows profits or losses. A guidance is a projection for the coming months. Now, Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon batted against it, and listen to what they wrote. I'm quoting again. In our experience, quarterly earnings guidance often leads to an unhealthy focus on short-term profits at the expense of long-term strategy, growth, and sustainability. Now, the spirit of this argument was the same as Donald Trump's. Short-term thinking is hurting America. Over in Wall Street, alarm bells are ringing. Fund managers fear that such a change will erode investor trust. At the same time, they want reform. Some managers say companies are gaming the system. They set low bars on purpose. They clear those low bars every quarter, and their shares zoom. And the numbers support this. Some 80% companies, 80% companies beat their quarterly projections. Clearly, this is not coincidence. But will scrapping the quarterly system work? Well, the UK and Europe have already done it. They require semi-annual reports, basically once in 6 months. Hong Kong also requires semi-annual reports. But in India, we have quarterly rules. Reports must be published within 45 days of the last quarter. And I'm afraid there is no right or wrong here. On the one hand, short-termism is bad. You look at every major company in the world, they thrived because of long-term thinking, not because they were focused on 3 months at a time. And that's true for Tesla, for Apple, for Nvidia, any big company you can think of. On the other hand, investors want transparency, and they are the heartbeat of every market. Let's see which way the US regulator goes.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge mo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
Yon todo do idioma.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.